talked.
It has been. It has been.
What a crazy time, both there and here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's untested waters, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you've just joined us, welcome to the call. So we're streaming now live on Facebook. If you're watching the recording, thanks for watching. We've got Dr. Kurt Fisnick with us today. Kurt is a doctor of chiropractic and he's studied nutrition and he's also a wellness consultant and also has been involved in running stem cell clinics as well. So he is an absolute wealth of knowledge. And we've got Ross Hardy on the call today, who's a clinical nutritionist. And we'll be talking to Ross today and we're going to go through some ideas that we think might help people. So thanks for jumping on. Thanks for watching. And Kurt, I'll hand over to you to kick off. Do you have the list there that we wanted to cover?
I didn't print off anything, no.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. I can talk through, bring them up and then we can discuss them. So do you want to just give a little bit of intro on what we're talking about?
Well, I think the important thing that we want to get across is that we're going through some, I don't know, difficult times right now, stressful times. There's a lot of things going on in the world, and we're going to try and do this call without bringing up certain words, certain keywords, because you know, then your videos get flagged and they get taken down, and pretty soon you get blocked from, you know, you get thrown in jail from social media. And, you know, that's the part that I don't agree with, you know, Katie and Ross and all of you that are listening, is that, you know, right now, we should be welcoming people to bring their opinions, get different ideas of what we can do. But instead of doing that, if you aren't in agreement with
the establishment,
the people, the establishment, we'll just use that word, the establishment. If you're not in agreement with the establishment, they crush you.
Yeah.
They try and crush you like a bug, and they delete you. They mute you out, and they you know, that's just the thing. If you're not promoting what they're doing, then you're no good, and you should be taken out.
Yeah, and that's a real problem, because you really want a balance of opinions. I mean, we live in a democracy. We're meant to, you know, people are entitled to opinions, to bounce ideas and share things. And I think if you have two opposing opinions, then that's how you actually get balance in the world. You can probably meet somewhere in the middle. Whereas if you
and that's how you find solutions too, Katie, is because right now, I mean, I'm just going to say it. We don't have a solution for what's going on.
Yeah.
We don't have a solution. What they're doing, what we're being offered right now isn't a solution. Yeah. At best, it's not even a patch-up job that we're doing right now. We're running on some ideas that they planned out a long time ago, and we're just running with it. We're going to run with that, and if anybody tries to oppose us, we're going to crush them.
Yeah, that's what they say. Well, before we start and talk about some products, Ross, did you want to add anything to that?
If I can, for over 30 years, I've been trying to get people's body rebalanced and take toxins out. And at the moment, and to rebuild or build the immune system. And at the moment, what's going on, we're actually destroying the immune system, which doesn't make any sense. No common sense whatsoever.
No common sense.
That's where I keep going back to all the professionals that's given advice. A lot of it doesn't make common sense. And I was in a group of doctors early last week, and around the table, and we were just talking, and for decades I have been hammered. So where's the proof? Where's the double-blind placebo? Where's the evidence? Well, I threw it back at them the other day, and I said, so where is your evidence that's, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, and so on?
Yeah.
And there was no one could answer that. And that's the disappointing part, as we all know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ross, here's the part that it just irks the heck out of me. I talk to my friends who are medical doctors. I talk to my friends who are, pro, establishment. We'll just use that word again. And all I ask them is, show me the safety, show me the studies on safety. If it's one thing if we got something like, a shot that doesn't have any effectiveness. The CDC, for example, said that the flu shot had 20% effectiveness, but it really wasn't causing that much harm. It wasn't killing people. Now all of a sudden, we've got something that it's not even effective at preventing it.
Yes.
And they don't have any safety studies on it. When you look at the safety studies, and they cancel out the people, this cancer culture thing that they're doing, where if you disagree with them, it's bad.
Yeah. Ross, how important do you think, and that can lead us to our next topic, so how important do you think, for everyone listening on the call, is nutrition in supporting yourself during this time, or any time really?
Well, here's my thought on it, and I'm going to hand it over to Ross after I say this. The immune system. Ross brought that up. He said the immune system is what you want to build up. So if you've got someone, like, let's say you have a household of 6 people, and someone comes home and they're sick, everybody in the house should get sick. Why does that 1 or 2 people out of 6 don't get sick? And they've studied it, and the one thing that they found was that the 1 or 2 people who didn't get sick had a stronger microbiome. They had a stronger digestive system. And Ross, that plays right over to you. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Yeah.
Correct. Thank you. And you are 100% right. The immune system, we only do get sick when our immune system has been weakened, normally by stress. Stress plays a major, major part in destroying the immune system. And we know by going outside, I'm in sunny Queensland, I'm in Brisbane at the moment, and we've got blue skies and fresh air, and we feel good. And I know that we're going international here, this call, and we feel for countries, maybe the UK, where, yes, it's a bit of drizzle rain, or it could be cloudy, and they're stuck inside. And we know that the immune system gets depleted a little bit in those circumstances. So we can, if we eat good quality, local, in-season foods. So by saying that, I don't mean foods that have been stored for 6 months. We need them freshly picked and local, and our immune system and microbiome, as you say, will rebuild the immune system and ward off any viruses. And we're talking hundreds of years of research, and we can rebuild our body to ward off any issues that is forced to us.
Yeah, I listened to Suzanne Summers. I'm sure you remember who she was. She was on a TV show called Three's Company, but she's a pro advocate of natural health, and she said the same thing, Ross. She said that we've gotten it because of transportation. I live up here in North Dakota. We're coming into our fall. We're coming into our winter. It's harvest season right now. All the apples and the pears and everything are fresh. And but I can go to the grocery store in February in the middle of the winter when it's 30 below zero Fahrenheit, and which is cold to you guys. That's really cold. And I can go to the grocery store and I can get fresh pears and apples in the middle of the winter. What does that play on the digestive system? I mean, you brought it up, so I'm going to throw that over to you because I'm sure people are going to ask that.
So when there's no freshness, we can be eating an apple, for example, or a pear straight off the tree, and we've got full of nutrients. So that's going to help with digestion. So that's going to end up helping our minerals and vitamins and amino acids to rebuild the body. But if it's been stored in cold storage for 6 months, we're in the same boat over here in Australia, that we can get mangoes, fresh mangoes, well out of season, and they're not fresh. So the more in time, the less nutrients that it has in it. So we think, oh, we're having a fresh mango. Well, we're eating bulk fiber. That's all we're doing. We don't have any nutrients from it to rebuild the immune system.
Right. There's some importance too with how your body, I mean, you've got the circadian rhythm. Everything's got a rhythm to it. Your pancreas has a rhythm, ovaries have a rhythm to it. The cardiovascular system has a rhythm to it. And I think, based on what I've read, our system is designed to have a rhythm to it as well. So in the springtime, we have certain food that's available. In the summer, there's certain food that's available. And in the fall, during harvest season right now, the fruits and vegetables. And when we start eating those fresh fruits and vegetables that are supposed to be fresh right now, and we start eating them fresh in, say, April, when it's not normal, we start bringing them up from the southern hemisphere up here, or, we bring our fruit down there to the southern hemisphere in when it's not fresh there. It messes up your hormonal cycle too, doesn't it?
Very much so. That is a well-documented fact. So we really should be eating the fresh, what we're growing out in the veggie patch. That's what we should be eating, and not from other countries. And typically we get inundated with grapes from America out of season, so we can have grapes all year round. And that's not natural.
Unless it's in wine or brandy, right?
Correct. Red wine, absolutely.
Yeah.
Resveratrol, very, very good. Great
All
for
right,
the immune system, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, so we'll kick off on that then, Ross. So we've got some ideas to share with people today about certain products and ingredients that can really provide support at this much needed time. So Ross just mentioned one there. We've got a product called Sizzle Eternity, and that is a high quality resveratrol supplement, broad spectrum immune support. Do you want to say something about that, Ross?
Yeah, look, it's one of my go-tos.
Right.
And it always has been. It is just packed. We've got the pomegranate in there as well. We get stuck into blueberries is very in Australia. Is antioxidants. It's full of antioxidants. Yes, we know that, but this is packed. It's concentrated, and it just, if you're low in energy, this is the go-to drink. This is my favorite drink. It really is. It boosts me, and I feel for my body, and we all have different bodies, and that's we have to feed your particular body. You have to feed it. What's right for me may not be right for you, and we have to understand that. And that's where, should I say, the pharmaceuticals, what's right, they have a handbook and everyone fits into the same book. Well, no, that's not quite right. And that's where, say, Dr. Curtin, myself, and other practitioners, we adapt to each person. And that's what makes the difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, fantastic.
Definitely.
So the next one we've got on there is Stemolytic. So this supports the removal of senescent immune system cells. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Ross, about why, what's senescence? Why is that important?
Really, it's another immune system builder, but this is where I come into it. We have to detox our body, and we've got to take the garbage bin out.
Yes.
We have to empty that.
Yes.
And so that, and I'm sure we'll get into the body shield and that later on, their keys to take the garbage bin out, so then we can fill it up with good nutrients.
Yeah.
And that's where it's a great detoxifier.
Yeah, fantastic.
Well, and the other thing, I just want to add this is that, when you talk about toxins, a lot of people think when they think toxins, they think air pollution, water pollution, things like that. But there's endogenous toxins as well. And endogenous means that your body makes them, for those of you that are listening and don't fully understand that. So every day, your body has cells that are dying. And normally your immune system is supposed to grab those dead, dying cells, grab them, take them out, and throw them out in the garbage. Well, what happens is this thing called senescence. It not only it puts cells into senescence, which means it kind of sweeps them to the side, and they're supposed to be just pushed to the side. But what happens is, because of preservatives and different things that we have in our diet, these senescent cells that are supposed to be kind of pushed to the side, they turn into zombie cells. My friend Andrea likes to call them zombie cells, and even the literature has called them zombie cells. And what it means is that these cells now, they go rogue on you. And what I mean by that is that they try and turn everything into an abnormal cell. So they'll grab a healthy cell and try and turn it into an unhealthy cell. And your immune system is supposed to take those cells and throw it out in the garbage. What happens is that your immune system also goes into senescence. And so now those senescent cells, they stay in your system. And so this stemolytic that we talked about, and even resveratrol, they found that those things, what they do is they will support the body's way of rebuilding that immune system, so it can now remove those senescent cells, those senescent immune cells, and boost that immune system a little bit more, and then when you look at resveratrol and glycertin, which is one of the 8 ingredients that are found in stemolytic, you look at all the literature, look it up. They studied glycertin, Quercetin, if you want to look it up, and they found that it was absolutely the number one nutrient. It's the number one nutrient that everybody should be on right now because of what's happening in the world, without mentioning the word that starts with CV.
Yeah. So glycertin. Yeah. So that one's on our list too. So it's a beneficial plant extract. And what's glycertin come from, Dr. Kurt?
Apples, onions, persimmon are the main ones. That's where it is. So you could eat a whole onion a day if you wanted.
No, I'll skip that. All right. So we've got the next one on the list was NAC. I can't pronounce the full name. I'll let you do that.
N-acetylcysteine.
Yep.
Yeah. And and I'm just going to say this is that N-acetylcysteine, in my opinion, is something that we all want to be taking right now. It's also in stemolytic, but we want to be taking that right now because of the possibility, and I'm trying to think of a nice way of saying this without actually saying what I want to say.
Yeah,
but
right.
It's something that you want to take in preparation for your body, just in case something gets forced into your system that you don't want. How's that? Is that a good way of saying it, Katie?
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so
in case they jab you.
So the next one we've got on there, I love this one, is the sizzle influence. So it's got a similar key ingredient to another substance, which is pine needle tea. Do you want to talk a little bit about that one?
Me or Ross?
Yeah, Ross, do you want to say something about the sizzle influence?
Yeah, going back to the pine needle, it is very, very hard to find pine needle tea in Australia and worldwide,
Right.
because they know the benefits of this product, this ingredient.
Mhm.
But the influence, I'm a huge person. Anyone that's dealt with me or heard me speak, over the decades, I'm a selenium person, which it has in there, which also then converts into glutathione. So glutathione is the king when it comes to antioxidants, and selenium is really the queen. So we have the king and queen that's going to help our bodies. And that's not just with the immune system. That's when we've got bad cells that are turning into rogue cells, as Dr. Kurt said before.
Yeah, fantastic. All right,
Yeah,
great.
Well, I was just gonna add this with the pine needle extract. The ingredient in there is called shikimic acid, and if you look at the influence, we've got extract from star anise, ANISE, which is an herb that you can find in probably your kitchen cabinet right now, but it's got an ingredient called shikimic acid in it, and it's the same thing that the pine needle extract has, and so that works really, really well. They found that it can actually interfere. It can this ingredient, it can interfere with replication of this CV thing.
Yeah. Right.
Well
Okay.
said.
Great.
Well said.
The next one we've got is the Sizzle Fucoidan. This product, absolutely love this one. I've got many bottles sitting on the shelf just in case, and I certainly wouldn't want to be without this product. And I know that if you're in a situation where you need that support, I have personally taken quite a bit more than what's on the bottle.
Go on, Dr. Kurt. You're the expert with this.
I don't know if I'm going to say an expert, but I'm just going to throw my 2 cents in. Is that, like Katie, I just got a box in the other day. I got 6 more bottles just to keep in my cabinet, partially for myself, partially for my parents. My mom and dad are in their 80s, and I want to make sure that I keep their immune system strong. But if anybody comes around, they say, "Oh man, I just got exposed to this and that," I get them a bottle of Fucoidan. I keep it on hand because of that. According to the studies, not on our product. Again, we can't say our product because our product hasn't been studied with double-blind studies. But the extract from brown seaweed called Fucoidan has been studied, and it's been found to be able to support a healthy immune system. And that's, again, getting back to what Ross said way in the beginning of our conference call here. The immune system is key to what's going on right now.
Yeah, real important. Okay, the next one we've got on the list is the Sizzle Spectramax. So this has got fulvic acid, 74 trace minerals, some key vitamins and antioxidants. Ross, would you like to say something about that?
Sure. Look, a lot of our children and adults as well, they don't get the full spectrum of their vegetables, say. They could be poor eaters. So they really need this product just to keep them balanced. If we're out of balance, the body is out of balance. And it's like baking the perfect chocolate cake. It's 7 ingredients. If you're only 6 ingredients, then it's not the perfect chocolate cake. So we need all the nutrients out of foods that we don't possibly eat to rebalance, to keep our immune system strong and to fight any flu or virus that we may happen to come across.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one we've got on the list is the Sizzle Body Shield, which is fulvic acid. And so, the fulvic acid is a really important ingredient in supporting the body. Do you want to say something about that, Ross? Yeah,
look, this is another one of my go-tos. We have to detox. We have to get rid of those dead cells out of the body. We have to the water impurities, as Dr. Kurt was saying before, and the air and the food and what we touch. We have an issue over here that we have to wear masks, like some parts of the world, but particularly we're very high apparently having to wear masks around the world. But it's on our hands. We touch a handrail. We take the mask off and then we rub our skin, our eyes that's already been exposed. So that goes into the pores of the skin, into the bloodstream and into the liver. We've got a detox, and that's where this is just a great product, and also has the brown seaweed in there as well as a protector to rebuild the immune system.
Yeah, fantastic. Great. And I know the next one we've got on the list here, Ross, is one of your favorites. We've got Avenger on there, which is broad spectrum immune support. Number one.
If people out there are new, this is, and you can only afford, one or two products, this is number one. I think this is number one, and eternity, in my opinion, just key. Over the years, sick people, you put them on this product and their condition reverses. It is just an absolute go-to. It will destroy bad viruses.
Be careful. Be careful. Don't say that. They'll crush you.
Yeah. Okay. It's and that's where no one knows why and how it happens, but with this product, conditions change.
Yeah. And Kurt, do you want to chuck in a disclaimer there and just say, because I don't know if we said that at the start, but we wouldn't hurt to say it during the call as well.
Yeah, folks, for those of you that are listening, if you're from the TGA or the FDA and you're listening, we're not trying to imply, we're not trying to say that our products cure, treat, or prevent anything. All we're trying to say is that there's studies out there. There's research on natural ingredients, like resveratrol, like glycertin, like fulvic acid. There's ingredients on the ingredients on the shikimic acid, and there's published studies that show that these ingredients can help support the body and make the body stronger. And all we're saying is that, hey, we've got a product that has these ingredients in it. That's all we're trying to say. And so by saying that, we're not saying our products have any research. We have no research at all. And we just want to say that, academically, you can look at the research on PubMed or Google Scholar. It's there.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, so that is a fabulous product. So the next one we've got is the Sizzle Age Pill. Kurt, do you want to talk a little bit about how that could be helpful?
You bet. Well, right now, in face of what's going on in the world, right now, the way things are going, it attacks your system, and it attacks the cardiovascular system, the pulmonary system in particular, and if you get in your arm, they've shown that it triggers cardiovascular events, and so you want to do as much as you can to protect the system. And yesterday I did a call with my friend Andrea, and that's what we talked about. We talked about how a lot of the studies on these advanced glycated end products, it's a byproduct of your body burning sugar as energy. When you burn sugar, when you burn carbohydrates, even when you burn protein turns into sugar, and that's how your body burns it as energy. When your body burns sugar as energy, the byproduct are called these advanced glycated end products. And what it does is these glycated end products, what they do is they also attack the cardiovascular system. So if we have a disease entity that's going on right now that's attacking the cardiovascular system, and we've got a natural process just from eating, from being alive, that attacks the cardiovascular system. We should try and do as much as we can to boost the health of the cardiovascular system, support your body's own system. Bruiser. Sorry, I hope that doesn't interrupt people too much, but these advanced glycated end products, they've shown with the studies from Harvard that you can take a form of vitamin B3, nicotinamide riboside, nicotinamide mononucleotide, 5-hydroxytryptophan, a number of other different ingredients. And what they will do is they will help your body so your body can get rid of these advanced glycated end products, and thereby protecting the cardiovascular system.
Okay, great. Awesome product. Absolutely love it. And that leads on to the next one, which you also love, Dr. Kurt, I know, for Restore, which covers the topic of cardiovascular health, doesn't it?
You bet. You bet. Yeah, because the Nobel Prize was given to a group of scientists for their work on L-arginine, L-citrulline. And bottom line is that as we age, these toxins that Russ talks a lot about, these toxins that Katie and I talk about, that a lot of people talk about, where do they get deposited? Most toxins are fat soluble, so they get deposited in fat tissue. Well, where is fat tissue stored? Well, most of us think, oh, it's around our belly, it's in our thighs, it's in our butts and things like that. But if you could take and microscopically look inside the artery, if you could do a cross section of the artery, anytime the artery has microscopic damage, the body repairs it by putting fat into it. And that's why your liver makes cholesterol in the first place. So when you see your cholesterol going up, automatically it should trigger your brain to think, oh, I've got some cardiovascular damage somewhere. And your body deposits this cholesterol, which is fat, in these microscopic injuries to your arteries and cardiovascular system. And then now all of these toxins, they get deposited into the fat. So there's lead and mercury and arsenic. They even found Teflon lining the arteries in people. Teflon, and everybody again thinks of like Teflon frying pans and things like that, but we can get way into that. That's a whole nother topic that we got discussion, personal care products that have Teflon in it. But so what the L-arginine and L-citrulline, which are the ingredients that are in for Restore, what they do is they take and they help to remove that junk out of the cardiovascular system, thus making the arteries so they're soft and pliable again, so that we can lower our risk for these thrombocytic events, these strokes and embolisms and heart disease. So
fantastic.
That's why they got the Nobel Prize.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, the next one we've got on the list is the Sizzle collagen. Ross, do you want to speak about the benefits of collagen?
Look, I'll let that one go to Dr. Kurt. I know he's more up with this than what I am on this product. So,
okay, go on. Yeah.
Well, I think the most beneficial benefit to collagen is that, because I like to look at women that get it injected in their lips so they look like this.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that just awesome when they do that, when they get that injected, Katie? So they look like this? No. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I have a bad sense of humor. I have a bad sense of humor. Probably a non-existent sense of humor. But anyhow, here's my take on collagen right now. And I think this call is directed at what's going on in the world right now. Collagen seals up those tight junctions between the cells of the digestive system. And right now, with a lot of things that are going on in the world, we have leaky gut. We have the cells. There's open spaces between the cells of the gut, and collagen seals that back up. And for that reason alone, without getting into any of the other reasons why we should be using collagen, that is my number one reason right now that we need to be using a collagen product. Okay,
great. All right, the next one I might hand over to you. So we're going to finish off with some specific ingredients, nutrients, and one is well, I wouldn't say it's actually there's a number of, is Zeolite the ingredient or the product? Because there's actually a number of products with that name. It's the ingredient, isn't it?
Zeolite. Yeah, zeolite it's a mineral that was created when volcanic ash reacted with salt water millions of years ago. It created, if you look inside your the lava rocks that are inside your gas grill, think of that in a microscopic particle, something smaller than a red blood cell, 6 microns, and it'll actually help pull these heavy metals, lead, mercury, arsenic, things out of your system. But they also found that just like glycertin, just like resveratrol, just like fulvic acid, it has an effect, a positive effect on these little microscopic things that we call CV right now.
Yeah. Ross, did you want to say, I'm sure you love the zeolite as an ingredient?
Yeah, I just want to make people in Australia at least be aware of this product. I've actually went to a doctor's conference, and they were promoting this product, and a man fell. You're only allowed to take 3 drops of this product, and he was a big man, and he fell to the ground. He detoxed nearly instantly. So just as a precaution, make sure the quality, the product that you're taking is a quality product. But right. Yes, it does detox, which is what I'm all about. But yeah, just be careful. You can, in Australia, you can get different brands of the zeolites, and yeah, just a caution there, that's all.
Okay, good tip. Thanks for that. Okay, and the next one we've got zinc, the importance of zinc there for the immune system. Do you want to talk about that, Ross?
Yeah, look, zinc, most of us will know that, and even the doctors do test our zinc, and that they know how important it is for our immune system. And it's just essential. And typically the Japanese are very, very good with this because of the sea creatures that they eat, the fish and the seaweed. So if we can build our immune system once again, and zinc is just a vital player of this.
Okay, great. The next one we've got on there is vitamin C. And Ross, I heard some statistic about people who were quite sick. There was a certain percentage, and it was quite high, that potentially actually didn't have enough vitamin C. Have you heard any studies like that?
Yeah, I certainly have. It's actually alarming to see how many people are deficient in vitamin C and also D. They're vital. And the old myth is that, have an orange. There's very little vitamin C in oranges nowadays, and capsicums, far more vitamin C in a capsicum than there is in an orange.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, go on. And so how important is it to, have sufficient levels of C and D in your body?
So it's going to protect all our cells, and it will kill the CV or help do that. Any bacteria and viruses, it really supports your system to deal with it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fantastic. And then the last one we've got on the list there is the importance of iodine in the diet. And I think you're pretty big on this topic too there, Ross.
Yeah, it is one of my favorites. Look, the thyroid is the computer of our body. It's sleep management and hunger management. It destroys bacteria once again. And once again, going back to the Japan studies, they don't suffer with thyroid issues, hyper or hypo thyroidism. And we need to take some lessons out of different countries, that why they don't have issues or why they do have issues. We need to learn. We're always learning. I'm only new in this. I'm only 34 years into this, and I learn every single day. But the thyroid is really, we can turn it on and we can turn it off, and diet really comes into it. And yeah, if we can have Seafood is great, in particular for the thyroid, iodine.
It's interesting there, because I'll share a little story with you. I was sharing that with some friends, and those friends shared with some other friends. And out of the 7 people that I know that got tested for their iodine levels, 5 were deficient, and by quite a lot. And so obviously that has a massive impact on the body. And that's why, getting things checked and, going to your doctor or your healthcare provider and having levels checked before you take something is a really good idea. But that sort of brings me to the question I wanted to ask you. They say that the minimum level for iodine is 100, but for optimum for pregnancy and hormones, it's 150. What's your sense on, would that be really an optimum range around the 150?
I'd rather not say at this point in time. I've only just had an issue with the authorities, and I'd rather, I basically, without going into too much detail, I basically gave about 2 oysters too much of iodine as permitted in Australia. And I got into a lot of trouble. So I'd rather, I'll pass it over to Kurt.
Yeah. Okay. We'll hand it over to Kurt. So, iodine, and where I'm quoting these levels from, Kurt, is the World Health Organization publishes on their website what the optimal levels are for different ages and, males, females, pregnant women and stuff like that. So the World Health Organization says you need a minimum, and I can't remember the measurement. Is it UG? I think, I'm not sure. But 100 is the minimum for thyroid and iodine. But then it said for women who are pregnant, 150, and they went up to, a maximum range of 250 on their chart.
Right.
But, we got a lot of people right down the other end. So.
Right. Well, just remember this, that when you find somebody that's deficient.
Yeah.
And you look at the RDA, you look at like the recommended daily allowance, you look at what the authorities tell us, this is what you're supposed to be taking. Remember that those are the recommended daily allowances for a healthy person, for an otherwise healthy person. So if your levels are low, would you say you're healthy?
Well, you're not optimum. You could still be healthy.
You're not healthy. The answer is no, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if your levels are low, you're not healthy. I can take you off that list. I mean,
right.
you're not healthy. So does the RDA apply to you?
Well, no, you're going to need support from a doctor to advise you on what you actually need to do, because you're not the RDA category now.
But what I'm trying to say is that, a lot of people, they look at the RDA, they go, oh, this is the 100% level. I can only take this 100%. If I take more than 100%, I'm taking too much, because, but that was written for a 154-pound Irishman in Boston in 1955. And so it has nothing to do with you. You've got low levels, so you're not a healthy person. So we take you off that list right away. You don't meet the criteria. And so when they say here's how much you're supposed to have, that RDA, for somebody who's low, it's not enough. You might have to take, 1.5. You might have to take 150%. You might have to take 200%. You might have to take 300%. And that's where Ross is saying, he got himself in a little bit of a snafu because of it, because he recommended, too many oysters to somebody, and to get those iodine levels back up. And and I've done that too. I mean, like myself, back in 2019, November of 2019, my vitamin D levels were at 25.
Oh God.
And that was in 2019. Well, we all know what happened right after that in 2020. And I started taking mega doses of vitamin D. I was taking 50,000 units of vitamin D. Right. But I did it for a short time, and I was aware of the fact that if I get too much, It's going to cause hypercalciemia, where it's just too much calcium in the bloodstream and things like that. So I'm aware of that. So you do it for a short period of time, you get those levels up, which I was able to do. I was able to get my levels up to 75 in 90 days.
Oh,
Just by
fantastic.
taking a high dose. Then what I did is I dropped my levels down and I started taking only 10,000 units a day.
Yeah.
And then when summer came, in the summer, then I drop it down to 5,000. I'm outside every day, and I got light colored skin. I'm not dark colored skin, so I absorb vitamin D really well in the summer. People with dark colored skin, people that tan real well, tend to not absorb vitamin D as good as people like you or I, where we're kind of pale, right?
Yeah.
All right, and so I dropped my levels down to just 5,000. But now winter's coming. I'm wearing like today. I took my dogs for an hour-long walk. I'm still outside, but the only thing that's showing is this.
Yes.
Right. I got a stocking cap on. I got a collar up. I got my jacket on, and so I'm not going to absorb the vitamin D. So now I'm going to bump it back up to 10,000 units until next, probably April. For the next 4 or 5 months, 6 months, I'm going to keep my levels up. And that's the same thing with iodine, is that, sometimes you have to boost it up. And like Katie said, the best thing to do is find a doctor that'll work with you.
Really important.
So that you can get your levels tested.
Yeah, test it, absolutely, because then you know exactly how much you've got, because one person could actually be normal or high and another person could be low, and you don't know, and it's on a case-by-case basis. And this comes back to the comment that Ross made at the start of the call. Everyone's different. We don't just have one book that suits everyone, and that's why it's important. And I'm just shocked at how many people I speak to, and they've never asked their doctor to test their vitamin D levels, because that is really, one of the critical ones that we've been talking about, vitamin D. So if you are listening to this call, you can ask your doctor to test you next time you're there. And, the thing is, I heard my doctor say that if somebody's deficient when they're tested, it means that the diet that they're eating, and the lifestyle they're living, they're not getting enough of it. And therefore the doctor would recommend on a case-by-case basis to supplement for that. But he also said that, it didn't mean that you could just do it and then stop and you're done for the rest of your life. It was an ongoing thing. And he said a lot of people didn't realize that. And so I just think the information we're sharing today, I hope that it prompts people to go away, do a bit of research, talk to their doctor or healthcare provider about, some of the things, and, do as much as you can to support your body. And also I'll just put in here that none of the information we've shared on today's call is a substitute for medical treatment, and that you should consult your healthcare provider before taking any supplements. And nothing we've discussed today is to cure, prevent, or treat any disease or illness. So I wanted to just add that in again.
Yep.
And if you find that your doctor isn't pro nutrition, pro supplements, I'm just going to say that find a different doctor. Bottom line is that, there's a lot that, I've had plumbers come out here to my house, and I would never have them come out again because they weren't any good. I've had electricians come out that I would never have them come out again. If you've got a doctor that that isn't going to
help you
work with you, find a new one. There's plenty of doctors out there who understand the importance of this thing.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to say in closing there, Ross or Kurt?
The only thing I would just continue with your comments and Dr. Kurt's comments is that work with your doctor. It is really super important with your nutritionist or your practitioner, because what's right for one person, once again, 10,000 international units of, say, vitamin D, as Dr. Kurt was saying before, may be way too much for a 60-kilo lady or man to a 200-kilo man or woman. And so we've got to take that into account.
Absolutely.
Age, sex, and weight plays a major part, and that's why we have to work. That's why I work with all doctors, and to get the right result for both our patients. His patient is my patient, and we work together and we get a good result.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, great. Well, did you?
I'm just gonna throw one last thing, because I mean, everybody knows what we're kind of focusing on.
Yeah.
I hope if you don't understand what we're talking about by this time, if you're listening to this, if you're listening to the recording of this, and you don't know what we're really kind of focusing on, because it is important, is that, look, right now, you want to make sure, like Ross says, keep your immune system strong, because that's key. That's key. If there's 6 people in the house and this thing gets into your home and you want to be the one of the 1 or 2 that doesn't get sick, follow the information that we've given, and it supports your body system. We can't say prevention, we can't say that, but we can say that it gives you a better chance because it helps support that system. If you're finding that you're sick, then there's certain things that you want to do. There's certain protocols that you want to follow. There's things that you can do, like Wisserton, Resveratrol, things like that are going to help. And remember, where does this thing attack? Well, it attacks the cardiovascular system. So support your cardiovascular system. It tends to cause thrombocytic events, which means that it throws some blood clots, right? So some extra vitamin K probably wouldn't be a bad idea as well, and some vitamin E and things like that. And we can't say we can't say what we want to say. We're just, so you have to kind of have to make your own judgment on it, and we're not prescribing and anything like that. I just really want to focus that. We're not trying to say that at all. We're just saying support your body, and your body's going to support you.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, great.
And if I can just throw a curveball in here just to finish off.
Yeah.
If people want to do a little bit of research for themselves, have a look at activated charcoal. You may be surprised how well this will benefit you.
Okay, great. Good tip there, Ross. Okay, so we'll close out there. Dr. Kurt, thanks everyone for jumping on the call today. If you've been watching us on Zoom or Facebook, or if you're watching the recording, thanks for taking the time out of your day. Hopefully there's some snippets of information in here today that's going to help you out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very
much. Thanks, Ross. Thanks for being with us, Ross.
Thanks, Ross.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Great.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
Bye.